Oh, are we ready? Hi there, this is Mark Dalton, and I am at 128 Shade, which is one of Jill Geisdorf's latest projects. Now, as you all know, Jill needs no introduction from me, but I happen to live in this neighborhood, 1 block and 2 houses away. And why I'm introducing this house is that this house is the first house in this neighborhood that fetched over 1.5 million. And when Jill's client bought this house pre-construction, Jill and I were looking at each other going, oh my God, why would someone pay that much money? He had the foresight to know that that was an exceptional price, because before he even moved in, they built another house across the street and sold it for 1.850. There's multiple houses in the neighborhoods being built that are for sale, 2.2, 2.4, 2.5, but everything started with 128 Shade. This is an important piece of property in my neighborhood. Mark Dalton, peace out.
Hi, this is Jill Geisdorf, Senior Interior Designer with Chic on the Cheap, and today I'll be taking you on a tour of my recently completed project on South Shade Avenue in Ringling Park. Like Mark said, this neighborhood is changing and this house is on the forefront of that evolution. Let me give you a little backstory before we start. I met this homeowner about 4 years ago. I designed his primary suite and we formed a good rapport, and when he purchased this John Cannon spec house, he hired me again. With most spec houses, you get what you get. When it's done, and then you decorate over it and on top of it, and it is what it is. However, this client purchased the property before construction started, so we had the opportunity to make some changes within reason. I knew that he valued efficiency, first impressions, and a low maintenance lifestyle. So I went through, I analyzed the floor plan and electrical plan to see if it jived with his wants and his needs. I will point out some of these modifications as we go room by room. Then I went to John Cannon's showroom and was shown all of the architectural finishes that they had selected. I had to carefully analyze each selection, the paint, the flooring, the cabinets, the tile, to see if it was consistent with the look and function we were going for. He described his style and I interpreted it to mean something that was modern and luxurious. So I had to look at each finish and see if it was a good style match. And if it wasn't, was it worth changing? I mean, changing everything would have been a small fortune, so we kept what worked and we modified what didn't. I had to think, is this a good fit? Can we layer other things on top of it and around it to bring it into the fold and make it feel like a good choice? So if I had the world as my oyster, I may not have picked all these things, but sometimes you have to do what makes logical sense. So we'll talk about these things as we go space by space as well. The first stop on the tour is the main living area. The flooring throughout the house was supposed to be a light colored, engineered white oak. And I knew the brand and I just knew it wasn't gonna hold up and meet his expectations for the long term. And he, his girlfriend, and his dog have dark hair. You would have seen everything on that floor and it would have driven them nuts, which I understand. So we changed it to a plank tile that has a variety of color, one of which being an almost black that we sprinkled throughout the house to add punctuation. And you'll see nothing on this floor. It's gonna be great. One of the homeowner's wants was a gas fireplace, and we designed a linear look that's surrounded by large, but not super large, format tile that looks like onyx. We went with a 2 foot by 4 foot tile versus a 4 foot by 8 foot because going up to that next size would have doubled the price of the material, the shipping, the fabrication. It wasn't worth it. We didn't find value in that. So yes, we have grout lines, but the look is still very luxurious. We have a Samsung Art TV, and to add more visual interest, to the left of the TV, we built in a bookcase in walnut. Walnut is the richest wood in my opinion, and so when someone wants something that's very rich and deep, that's my go-to. We hired Wayne and Marvin, and they did a wonderful job on all of our custom carpentry needs. So thank you for being a great partner in that. Another detail we added here is concealed lighting. That is something that adds another layer of luxury to a space instantly. So we also put tape light in the tray ceiling. So now let's talk about the furniture. To make a good first impression when you enter the house through a small foyer, the furniture really needed to be special. If you make a good first impression, the implication is the rest of the house is just as nice. And it is. Don't get me wrong. But the point is, if you make a good first impression, it sets the right tone. So, in addition to this dramatic feature wall, I added a custom cravat sofa. I found this fabric as inspiration at the start of the project, and I just couldn't get it out of my head. So when I really dove into the details of the space, I realized that while the house is a good size, it's not massive. So getting the scale of the pieces was going to be really important. Cravat was able to take this 93-inch sofa and make it 80 inches. And we also decreased the depth by 1 inch. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it now matched the previous sofa he had, which was really comfortable, but way too big for this space. So next, I focused on the accent chairs. And I just love the lines of these Lucy chairs from Mitchell Gold Bob Williams. Well, let me tell you a story. We do not have a Mitchell Gold Bob Williams showroom anywhere around Sarasota. But there is one in Nashville, Tennessee. And my husband and I planned a weekend getaway to go see some live music. And I dragged him along to the showroom, and he's an inch or so taller than this homeowner. I made him sit in the chair. He gave it the thumbs up. I sent a picture to my client, and he said, "I trust you, go for it." Trust your interior designers, people. They won't lead you astray. So now let's talk about this coffee table. It is custom made, and it is made out of burl wood, and the carpenters did an amazing job. They did an amazing job on all the custom pieces. The top of this table sits on an acrylic base, and it keeps it light and airy feeling, and you can see right through it to the beautiful accent chairs. A rug from Loli, purchased through Rugs as Art, and a room and board wood end table round out the space. Let's keep going onto the dining area. We, shocking, have a walnut dining table and a beautiful Hubbardton Forge light fixture in black, purchased from Light Up Your Life. And the lines of the table are really simple, and that was intentional because I wanted the chairs to be the star for this space. We may have splurged a little in the living room, but we made up for it in the dining room. These chairs are from CB2. They're velvet. They're a deep mushroom color, and it helps to ground the space, and the lines are really sharp. We didn't change the paint color in the main living area. It's modern gray from Sherwin-Williams, and it's neutral and has enough of a tan undertone to work with all of our selections. So before we leave the dining area, let's talk about the window treatments. The drapes are custom made, and the fabric is an open weave in a charcoal color. The fabric is made by Knoll, and it gives another layer of detail to the space, and it softens the architecture. We also added banded shades throughout the house. I love banded shades because you can change them to suit your needs. Onto the kitchen. Okay, here's where the spec house really comes into play. The builder picked out a really nice, simple cabinet and a neutral color and a good countertop and an interesting glass backsplash. And to change the kitchen would have been a fortune, so that did not make sense. But we built on top of it. And I knew that entertaining was important to this client, so we omitted the cabinets on the exterior wall, and we enlarged the window that overlooks the pool. After closing, we clad the walls in walnut, and we added reeded front taupe-colored cabinets on the exterior wall to make a bar. We repeated the countertop from the kitchen for continuity, and instead of adding a second level of glass upper cabinets with lighting that would have been like $10,000, $12,000. We added a floating shelf. You can't reach up that high. It's definitely just for display in every house, so why not make it unique? The next stop on our tour is not the laundry room or the guest suite because we didn't find value in making changes there. It was good. The homeowner rarely has overnight guests, and he certainly didn't need 2 guest bedrooms. So we took that second one and we turned it into a yoga room. That he did need. We added rubber flooring. We put his previous TV cabinet on the wall in here, and we filled in a door that led to a bathroom that shared an entrance from the hallway. That made it a powder bathroom. This space had a linen closet, but we didn't need a linen closet when we repurposed it to be a powder bathroom. We changed the wall tile to something very dramatic and moody because powder baths should have personality. We didn't change the cabinetry, but we did change the design of the wall behind the vanity. We bumped it out. We added a wall-mounted faucet, and this architectural enhancement gave interest to what would have otherwise been a flat and boring wall. And one of my favorite things in this bathroom is the wall sconce. It's an art light. It's typically hung above a picture and highlights the beauty underneath it. Well, the beauty underneath it is the person powdering their nose. The finishing touch for this space is the wallpaper. It's vinyl. It looks like grass cloth, but it doesn't have the maintenance. So it is a livable luxury. Remember, I told you we repurposed the linen closet from this bathroom? Follow me around the corner and I'll show you what we did. Across from the door going out to the garage, we added a drop zone. So now the homeowner can sit, put on his shoes, store his dog leash, put his keys on a shelf instead of cluttering up his kitchen island. And of course it's walnut, and of course it's an almost black cushion. Let's move on to the office. To maximize this small space, Wayne and Marvin built a wall-to-wall desk in walnut, and it really maximizes the space, but I wanted to make it a little moody. So I changed the paint color. That's the least expensive thing to change. This is Backdrop from Sherwin-Williams. We also have a very modern black LED chandelier purchased through Light Up Your Life hanging from the ceiling. Our last stop on the tour is the primary suite. I wanted this to feel rich and warm and enveloping, so we changed the paint color again to Keystone Gray. In the bathroom, we liked the finishes they chose. It's porcelain tile that looks like marble. What's not to like? They did want a 2-person tub, so we added that. And I remember when we started the project, the homeowner asked me, Jill, what are your other clients asking that I wouldn't know to ask for? What do people want? What's nice? Well, having a bidet seat, it's nice. Also, having an outdoor shower is really nice. It just makes you feel like you're somewhere else. Into the bedroom, we reused the bed I purchased for his last home, but we got new nightstands because the old ones just weren't the right scale for the space. We hung pendant lights from the ceiling instead of doing lamps because I knew he didn't like clutter on his nightstand. He is the outdoorsy type, and so I took one of his travel photos, I made it sepia tone, I put a black frame around it, and voila, large scale, personalized art over your bed. And I know we did custom window treatments in the dining room, but in the bedroom, we went off the shelf. These velvet drapes are from Pottery Barn. They are 1 shade darker than the walls, so it's a really cool tone-on-tone look. This project was all about taking a spec home and elevating it to be a functional living environment for one person. Like every good home is, it's supposed to be specific to its owner. Layering in saturated colors and textures gave a luxurious and elegant feel. Thank you for joining me on the tour today. Bye.